I work for Photon Infotech. Photon Infotech is a service-based company. They worked in a digital space. They just concentrate on digital space. They are the brains behind the push notification of Walgreens app, and they have worked in Siri, such products. And I worked as a management trainee. To my timeline management trainee, I will be given different works. As of now, 5 months into Photon, I have worked in account management, project management. Now I am responsible for internal marketing, and I have been designing their talent management automation. One thing you have to have in your mind, it is not the end of the world, it is not even the beginning of something. Thing is that the one thing which keeps you on the edge is the peer pressure. So there are 400 people around you. When 200 people gets placed, right, the peer pressure keeps you on the edge. But one thing you have to make sure is I got placed well before anyone got placed, but I came to know about the peer pressure from my fellow friends. Thing to go past this is after coming out of Photon, I have got 6 more job opportunities, which I basically didn't take because there is a learning period for every curve. So the thing we have to keep in mind is nervousness is something which happens in a subconscious level, but this is not the end of the world. This attitude will take you to places. You have to be very specific on what you need to get. Either it can be monetary. It's not bad to go after money, but sometimes you have to see how much you learn in the first 2 years of whichever company you started. The company I got placed had 3 rounds. First was an aptitude. So since my college CAT cutoff is around 90%, that was not much challenging for us. And there is a group discussion. Post that final round of personal interview where they analyze my resume top to bottom. The other companies which have faced group discussions is the most common of all placement processes. This was one strange scenario where we had test, and the other company where I got placed, I had a presentation. I was given a case study. I was asked to prepare a pre-sales presentation for the particular case study, and questions were asked based on it in the final interview. But the PPTs were shortlisted. Sometimes resume is something. It's like a first cook thing. You be generous on your resume. You will be covering something which is not in scope just to attract your interviewer, so that when he or she goes through the resume, they will have a relevant content to talk. But the thing is that you have to know what's the content is. So there was an interview where actually I worked in that part, but I exaggerated and I have kind of posted in my resume. That backfired a lot. Your resume is basically like a storybook. If you are thorough with that, there should be any problem. Whatever I did at that point of time, whatever the other resume, I understood that even if you're going for a turtle walk to nest the turtle, you have to have a concrete reason behind it. That's what people will be expecting from you. So at that point of time, the question which actually clicked me the interviewer and myself were working from the same company. The previous company was same for us, both of us. So he asked the reason, why do you want to quit a company which is such a large conglomerate and come to a really small company which size is 3,000 plus. So that time I gave a reason which was really satisfying for him, saying that the learning reason I gave earlier, that answer itself clinched me in the job in that particular thing. This is a sensitive part. Sometimes we get carried away in the interview and we tend to be loose with our questions. It is better to not ask questions because they're not going to judge you on that. But if you ask questions which is irrelevant, they will definitely judge you on it. Thing is that questions should come basically after a lot of research on that particular company. Otherwise, it is better not to ask questions. You can ask questions like, you can definitely ask about contracts. So that there might be contracts when you get past the interview and we may not know. So these kind of questions are politically correct and you don't need to worry. But until you don't do enough research on the company or your role, better not to ask questions. You can have these 2 questions as basic. What's your on-site opportunity and do I need to be serving some contract? These 2 will be politically correct and you get. 3 points. First, your resume is your Bible. Bhagavad Gita or Quran. Okay. you have to know your resume, and you should be able to validate your resume, your claims, from anything, from your name to footer, whatever, because every line will be critically analyzed. This is the first thing. Your resume should be completely to your knowledge, it should be answerable, and it should be logical. Second thing is that you should understand the culture that what company is coming from. You have to do a lot of primary research before a company comes in, if it is your dream job. There are two types of placement. One is a bulk placement. Company comes in, takes in 50 people. So that time they look just for the right candidate. But when company like Amazon or Adobe comes in, they look for right one candidate. At that time, they require employees to do a lot of primary research on. So primary research is not something you go to their About Us page and know about them. It's not like that. You have to go to the LinkedIn page. You have to search for profiles, people who have worked in the role before, alumni who have worked in this company before. We have to all reach them and get a basic idea on how your role and how this company is going to treat you or grow you. So all this primary research is really important. You step into any company you get, you learn, and then march towards your dream job. So time is there. Okay, so rather than having goals, right, better to have milestones. If you fail in a goal, you feel pretty bad about it. If you have a milestone, right, if you didn't reach in a week time, you're definitely going to reach your milestone in another week time. Okay, milestones are always reachable, but thing is that you should spend more time on it. Other than that, interviews are it's basically like it should be under your comfort zone, and you should be able to tackle very much if you follow these three points.